Hello there, welcome back to another video. So I have a legendary fragrance today. This is basically Brut from the house of Brut Parfums Prestige, right? Now, so this is an old school classic fragrance. It's something that I've been wanting to try for a long time, so I decided to get this. Also, I'm going to review a lot of barbershop fragrances in the few days to come. So, this is one of those fragrances that I thought should definitely be tried when you look at vintage fragrances, right? Now, what makes this particular fragrance really exceptionally good is that you get this for 500 rupees, right? So you heard me right. It's 100 ml that you can get for 500 rupees. And I got this from Exclusive Scent, so but I'll definitely pass this across to you. So it comes at an MRP of 595, made in Italy, okay? So, and it is, I think, bought into India by Unilever. So if you didn't know these things, that's what it is. So it's a EDT concentration. So what do you get on this particular fragrance? Another very interesting thing about this is this was created in 1966 or 1964. So it makes almost 60 years since the launch of this particular fragrance. So it's really vintage from that point of view, and it's really a nice fragrance. Now, this has got a lot of things going, okay? So it's got a lot of citrus elements, it's got a little bit of floral elements, jasmine, geranium, it's got the bergamot, citrus, it's got basil, it's got a lot of coumarin, musk, sandalwood, vetiver, oak moss, tonka beans, vanilla, a lot of things happening, okay? Fantastic note profile of this particular fragrance. Right at the top, you also have lavender along with bergamot. Just watch the sprayer on this one, okay? Just watch the sprayer, if I can capture it. Just look at the puff that you get. Wow, fantastic, right? Now, what do you get? So let me do a closer spray, and just for that, it's a fragrance that opens with a little bit of lavender notes. It's got a light element of citrus that you can kind of, feel. There is a little bit of those flower notes that's there, the spiciness of geranium there. And then there's a lot of things happening from that oak moss, sandalwood, birch, vanilla, and all of that. But what you eventually recognize is a fragrance that you know very well. You immediately recognize that this is your old school Brut, a fragrance that you've used. So Brut, for example, is very popular with men for aftershave lotions, deodorants, all of that, but mostly people have used Brut deodorants at some point of time, or you've smelled this with somebody. So this is not a fragrance that you would want to kind of define. It's a legendary scent on its own. It's a DNA that anybody recognizes. So you get that in this particular fragrance. That's what you kind of eventually get. Okay, I absolutely enjoy this particular fragrance. It's very nice. It's not very loud. It's got a little bit of alcohol blast, of course. Okay, but you get that nice DNA of this Brut, but it's not very punchy. It's very mild, very smooth, very mellow, very beautifully done. Now you can kind of describe this as a powdery, aromatic, woody fragrance with a light hint of spiciness. Okay, but I would still say that this is a very talcum like aromatic, powdery, that kind of a fragrance. Okay, and the DNA of Brut is something that is constantly there, so that will keep reminding you of that lovely aftershave that you kind of smelled somewhere. All of those elements of basil, citrus elements, the lavender, the oak moss, sandalwood, all of them are blended really well. So you don't really get everything or anything very dominant as such. Now, in terms of performance, you get on your skin for about 3 to 4 hours time. That's what you will get, and after that you will have to respray. After the first 1.5 months, it starts to go light. So you can consider about 3 to 4 hours as the average lasting of this particular fragrance. Projection, I would say about 1.5 to 2 feet. It's just very soft scent, as to say. But what you get is a very manly, gentleman, old school, vintage kind of a fragrance. And people who liked Brut as a aftershave lotion for many years, or if you like the deodorants that they have had where they have that original musk and all of those elements, you will like this particular fragrance. This one leans a lot towards the original because this is the original one, as such. So the DNA is more of that. The musky one is also got the same Brut DNA, but then there is a musk element which is more prominent. In this one, I definitely feel it is more towards the original fragrance. Okay, now what you get otherwise is a very mild DNA of the Brut along with a lot of the other elements that I mentioned to you about, and it lasts pretty decently well. So if you've been looking to get a old school fragrance for nostalgia, or you want to, if you've sniffed this at your father or at your grandfather's cupboard or wardrobe and you want to get this, you can definitely get this, because at this price point there are no complaints. You can get this as a very casual fragrance that you can wear, especially if you've had a good shave and if you've worn a Brut aftershave and then you want something to go along with it. You can definitely consider this as a very gentleman old school kind of a fragrance, right? So that has been my very quick overview about Brut Original. It's a fragrance that brings a smile on your face whenever you put it on. So I will be bringing more barbershop fragrances in the days to come, and you can definitely consider this. Like I said, I got this from Exclusive Scents for about 500 rupees. I'll put in the link, or I'll put in the number. You can get in touch with them and get this, right? So watch out for more videos coming every day. You're watching The Perfume Experience. My name is Rodney. Until another time, take care. Bye now.